Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Kim over at Touch of Magic. Today we're doing a quick little hop. There's a few of us that are trying to encourage each other to once a month get out there and try something different. So this is our Forgotten Techniques Day. I'm going to recreate a card that I have up on Instagram, different colors, different theme, but same concept. Something I don't do very often, haven't done in a long time, and I had a request to do it in 3 different versions. So that's what I'm doing today. So masking and ink blending and some simple stamping is what I am going to do today. So I've got some wide low tack tape here, and I'm going to mask off about half of the card thereabouts. So this is a card base that is Hammermill 100-pound cardstock. It's what I use mostly for this type of technique. So I'm going to do a combination for Christmas colors. So I'm doing some red, some yellow, and some green. So kind of your traditional red, green, and gold sort of thing. I'm separating the colors because red and green together can give you a brown or a neutral, and that's not what I'm after today. It can be very handy if you're doing that on purpose, but not so great if it's an oopsie. So I'm using the Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated inks today. This is one of the new reds. This one is the apple, so there's a new trio of colors. These are beautiful. I love these inks. They blend very nicely. They smooth out. They work really well. And then I'm going to move into the yellow, which is the Sunbeam here today. These are kind of fall into my category of Fast, Fun, and Fabulous in 5. I really like the fact that you can make a neat card with some impact in just a few minutes. You might want a little drying time depending on what kind of ink you use, but overall it will work really well. I'm trying to not overlap a ton because I'm not wanting to create ink blends so much as just have the inks pure in their color. And as you can see here, I tap off on the lid. I use that if I'm doing painting or anything, rather than tap off on the glass mat. That way that ink is there when I need it. The green and the yellow blend fairly well. It's not as obvious as the red and the yellow, which will give you an orange. So I'm wanting really to try and stay with the Christmas shades. So this, again, it's a fast blend. I'm not going for the smoothest, most pristine creation. You can take as much time or as little time as you want with that same concept. And of course, the best part of this is your peel and reveal. So a nice crisp edge. Now this is Heavy Doodle tape that I've had for a while. I believe they are no longer in business, but I'll link to some in my description that work really great. Simon Says Stamp has a low tack tape. Scrapbook.com has a great, their mint tape is low tack. Gina K Designs has her Gina K's Masking Magic, which is awesome as well. So with this one, I've got my Altenew sticky mat here holding my card base, so you can see nice crisp blend, nice festive colors. Just gonna grab my stamp platform here. Got my Misty. And I'm not gonna show all the blends because they're gonna all be the same. So that's not the part that I'm after here. What I have is a stamp set called Holiday Blossoms. I'm pretty sure this one's still available. I will double check. If it's not, I will post something similar to this. So this is the Holiday Blossoms by Simon Says Stamp. I love it because it's a big floral spray, and that's what I'm after here. I want it to cross over the card and give me a little bit of everything if possible. Close the door, pick up, and I'm going to use my VersaFine, which is a pigment ink. It's black, it's very crisp. It's really nice for something with a lot of fine lines. It will give you really good detail. So jingle, jingle, jingle. And grab my little stamp tool. I'm not pressing too hard because the lines are fine and I don't want them to splay out. I want them to stay nice and crisp. And oops, I missed a spot. Am I in the same spot or am I gonna double stamp? You know, I'm not gonna risk it because I didn't stick that down. I could have used a platform, double-sided adhesive to hold that down, or a different sticky mat. I will strategically place my sentiment on that one, but it gives it a nice crisp image. So what I'm gonna do is ink blend a couple more. I'll be back in a minute and I will show you the next 2 steps. So I've got 2 stamped here so far, and I'm gonna show you the stamping for the 3rd one. So there's the first one we did. There's a second one that I ink blended and stamped. And I've got a 3rd one here that I've ink blended. And this one is gonna be the stage 3. So we're gonna have your simple, and then your stepped up, and then your little touch of magic, as my niece says I need to call it. So this one I'm going to do with, I've got the Altenew Enchanted Gold Pigment Ink, and I'm going to put the gold pigment ink on, and then I'm also going to add embossing powder, and I'm going to emboss it in gold to give it a little more of that festive flair. So it's very subtle at this point, and you could leave it like this if you don't have embossing powder, or if you don't like doing heat embossing. This works just as well. This ink is absolutely beautiful, and it will give it a really lovely soft gold sheen, which you can see. Oops. So I think you can see the shine on that. So I'm going to quickly go heat emboss this. Alrighty, so what I have are 3 panels, and we're going to do the basic, the step up, and then the little touch of extra. So this one is going to be my basic, and what I'm going to do for this one is this one has the waffle flower sticky mat in the stamp platform. It does make it much easier. It's very easy. And there we go. And because that is a pigment ink, I'm going to set it off to the side to dry for a little bit. I know that my second one, to kind of step it up a little bit, I'm going to trim this down so that I can mat it in black. So this panel started out at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to pull this in an 1/8 on all sides. So this one is going to mat on here. And that gives it just a little extra something. And then the sentiment I'm going to stamp separately and cut out and then pop up. So yeah, I have never done this on camera before, and this is the technique that I know about but don't do very often. A partial die cut technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up to just the line on here so that this part of the design is free. I will tell you, because if you're looking at this and you see it close enough, I'm not happy with the quality of embossing on this. I forgot to use anti-static powder on here, and it really made a mess of my gold. But I have time constraints, and it's the wee hours of the morning here. So I have to just show the technique and advise to do as recommended. Don't do as I did. Make sure you use an anti-static powder when you're embossing. It will save you grief. So the trick here is when you are lining up your plate, you want your plate to only go to the edge of where you want it to cut, because that's where the pressure will be, and that's what it's going to cut on. So I'm going to line this up. I'm hoping I get all of this on camera. I do apologize if not, but I'm sure it'll make sense. So I'm putting the edge of the plate on the edge of the line as straight as I can, holding it until I can feel the pressure pick up, and then run it through my machine here. All right, so we're gonna take the die off here. I've got it on with some purple tape, low tack tape, just so it will do that. So now you can see that it has cut, and I will just take a pair of scissors and carefully cut out the balance of that, and I'll be back in a second. So an X-Acto knife, a pair of scissors, a ruler, a little bit of patience, and you can cut out pretty much anything and it'll turn out really nicely. I'm going to take a minute and put all 3 cards together and walk through them at the end and just explain it all one more time. So hang tight, we'll be right back. All right, so let's recap. 1 stamp set, Holiday Blossoms, the die, 3 ink colors, Apple, Fairway, Sunbeam, some masking, a little ink blending, and 3 variations of the same card. Again, this is part of a hop. I'm just going to interject that. That is done by With Love by Amy. Okay, let's start with our first one. So this one has your simple ink blending with your black overlay of stamping and your simple sentiment. No matting, actual card size. I did this one as a landscape style. The next one, stepped it up a little bit. Same ink blending, same stamp. I've done this in a portrait style, which I've trimmed down and matted on black, and then I've popped up the sentiment for dimension in black to give it a little more something special. And then with the third one, gone all out on a few different things. Same ink blending, embossed in gold this time, partial die cutting to make it stand out. I've matted it on an ivory card base done in a landscape style, and I've stamped the sentiment in the Altenew gold pigment ink to tie everything in together. So these are the 3 things. So we've got your basic, your step up, and your little bit extra. I do hope you found some inspiration in this today. If you like what you see here, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or you'd like to leave a comment, it is always appreciated. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do try to put out videos a couple times a month, and I appreciate the support and encouragement. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.